शुरू करें, अपनी बात शुरू करें।
हो गया सर, इधर देखिए।
Thank you, Chairman.
अपनी बात शुरू करें।
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to take part in the discussion and noting on demands for grants under controller of Ministry of Education. Chairman, a university stands for humanism, for tolerance, for reason, for the adventure of ideas, and for the search for truth. It stands for the onward march on human race towards ever higher objectives. These were the lofty ideals of a vision unfolded by Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of our country. This vision embodied the spirit of our freedom struggle, which sought to create an India self-reliant not only in economic terms, but also in terms of intellectual and scientific manpower. But today, education in India is in a deep crisis. It is facing several problems, and this year's budget has no proposal or vision to address these concerns. It is an accepted fact that money will spent on education will be critical in improving the employability and productivity of the future generations. But this government has failed to live up to its own promise of allotting 6% of the GDP to the education sector. In fact, the current allocation of only 2.51% of the total budget represents a decrease from the 2.57 allotted in 2023. Compare this with the annual allocation for education by other developing nations. Brazil spends 6% of its GDP for education, South Africa 6.64 and Indonesia 3.5. We should be ashamed of this paltry sum we spend for education. Sir, how can we expect to become a knowledge society if we can't provide adequate resources for education? The reduced allocation reflects this government's policy of centralization of education sector in flagrant disregard of the federal concept. This government has an inherent apathy towards the institutions that have raised our prestige in the international arena. IITs and IIMs are symbols of excellence across the globe. There should have been effort to strengthen this institution by providing them all help they need. Sir, but since 2014, fees in these institutions have been increased many times. And above all that, this year's budget has experienced a reduction in the allocation to these institutions compared to the last year. The allocation for IITs has been reduced from 560 crore to 550 crore. The allocation for IIM has been reduced from 300 crore to 212 crore. In this way, a responsible government treats its premier institutions. Sir, India cannot boast of a single university in the world top 100. This should have been a matter of deep concern for a country with the largest population in the world and should have been addressed with the top priority by focusing on at least a handful of such institutes with the intent that some of them would make it to top listing soon. Sir, funds should have been earmarked for this in the budget. But this government has no respect for excellence in the intellectual arena. Our once great institution of learning are beset by multiple crises. Sir, a financial crunch at the university level, apathetic and anti-academic government is preventing universities from blooming. The students and teachers of this country are not free to express their opinions. Great centers of learning flourish only when there is an atmosphere conducive for inquiry and independent research. The Freedom House Political Advocacy NGO, which publishes annual index of the degree of political freedom in the countries of the world, has said in its 2024 report for India that I quote, academic freedom has significantly weakened in recent years as professors, students, and institutions have faced intimidation over political and religious issues, unquote. Faculty members and students have time and again been suspended for criticizing and protesting against the government. In the atmosphere of fear that Honorable Leader of Opposition, Sri Rahul Gandhi has been talking about, which pervades in all walks of life in this country and grip the education sector also. Sir, it is like a garden filled with hundreds of beautiful flowers when new generations come together in a campus, transcending differences in caste, religion, language, and culture. Please do not destroy this wonderful social fabric of the country with communal divisions. This atmosphere of fear that exists in the educational field is forcing the students to flee from this country. In the recent years, there has been a surge of Indian youth migrating abroad for studies, crossing 7.5 lakh in 2022, 8.5 lakh in 2023. One of the major implications of migration due to educational opportunities is brain drain, which leads to a loss to the human capital. The ruling party and its affiliates are responsible for this grave situation. Sir, the marginalized sections of this country got education, not only because of the efforts of the governments, but also the interventions of the missionaries and visionary leaders. Their service not restricted to any one community. They provided universal education. Saint Chavara Kuriakose Elias was the pioneer of Dalit and weaker sections education in the state of Kerala. When people belonging to this marginalized section didn't even have the right to walk on public roads, these institutions provided them with quality education. I am happy to inform this august house. In 1846, Saint Kuriakose founded first Catholic Sanskrit school at Mananam. The slogan of the saint was, "A school for a church." We cannot forget the contributions of social reformers and educationalists like Mannatha Palpanavan and R. Shankar. They have contributed immensely for establishing educational institutions and uplifting the downtrodden and Dalit communities in the state. The first president of the Indian Republic from Dalit community, Dr. K.R. Narayanan, and the first Dalit Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, K.G. Balakrishnan, were all products of these institutions. Both are from my district, sir. I am proud of that. The current crop of the rabid communal elements may not aware of the great contributor these institutions have made to our nation. These elements are creating an atmosphere of fear in the institution run by Christian community. Your governments in various states are arresting, prosecuting the Christians on flimsy charges. This is not only a disgrace, considering the great contributions rendered by the community in the field of education and healthcare for the most backward people, but also denies opportunities for the weaker sections to get educated. The union government should ensure the security of the Christians and their institutions. If you are serious about the welfare of the poor sections of our society, you can find Keralites in every nook and corner of the world because of the quality of education and their attitude towards people. Total remittance from non-resident Keralites also reached a record 2,16,893 crore in 2023, which is threefold of Kerala's annual budget. Sir, our state has been repeatedly requesting for the establishment of an AIMS in Kerala, but it was denied. We strongly demand for an AIMS in our state, Kerala. Sir, my constituency, Pathanamthitta, has a literacy rate of 97%, which is among the highest in the country. But higher educational opportunities are very limited in the region. Sir, 2 more minutes. The distance to the nearest Central University from Pathanamthitta is 500 kilometers. Central University of Kerala started a South Campus School of Legal Studies at Tiruvalla in my constituency, Pathanamthitta. In this connection, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the former Chief Minister of Kerala, late Sri Ummanchandi, who granted 10 acres of land, valued approximately 200 crore for setting up of the South Campus on my interventions. I request the Honorable Minister for Education to start a full-fledged university campus with more courses and teaching staff in South Campus, Tiruvalla. Sir, according to the latest data from the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, CMI, the unemployment rate stood at 9.2% in June 2024, a sharp increase from 7% from the month of May 2024. If this trend continues, it must have reached 11%. No number of unemployed youth increasing day by day. Many of them have taken educational loans for their studies and not in a position to repay the education loan. Therefore, I request the government to write off the education loan of the unemployed borrowers.
धन्यवाद.
Sir, I am concluding. Gandhiji believed that education should teach individuals to seek truth, speak the truth, and practice non-violence in all aspects of life. But the government is far away from that. With these words, I conclude my speech. Thank you. Jai India.
माननीय राजेश वर्मा जी.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, आज आपने शिक्षा पर अनुदानों की मांग पर हो रही चर्चा पर मुझे बोलने का अवसर दिया. अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं बिहार